Operation Beat the Rain in Sandy Ridge. Try saying that 10 times fast. Welcome to episode 3 of the Against All Odds series, as this is the second episode in 4 months, because we returned to the series in December for episode 2, 6 years later, right before Christmas, and we rung in the new year of 2025. So in this episode, we're here in Sandy Ridge just to beat the rain. Because we know the rain is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So we're going to make a quick run for it, and do whatever we can squeeze in until the skies open up, and that's our cue to run the hell home. So therefore, whatever happens. We can't predict it. We can't, stage it. It's very unpredictable. So we'll just see what happens organically as time goes on in the happiest place in Northeast Ohio on this day. What would have been Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s Tony Rain's 74th birthday, and what is Grace Kaufman's. We'll address Grace Kaufman later. Right now, I don't know how old she is off the top of my brain, but anyway, let's get going. Okay, we had a detour. We had to turn around to go back because Jen and her son and daughter came home, and this is like how many days we've seen those three for like several consecutive days except for one. So I've lost count. But anyway, I had a chance to look up Grace Kaufman's age. So whatever happens today. We can't predict it. We can't stage it. We can't plan it. We all have to let it happen organically. On what would have been Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s Tony Rain's 74th birthday, and what is also today is Grace Kaufman's Kenny Wallace 23rd birthday. Kerry, Perry, and Disney XD's Livin, Vida, created by Chris Peterson and Brian Moore. So now that we're officially ready, no more detours for a little while anytime soon. Where to first? Wait, hold on. What in the hell is this I see? I don't think we're getting a storm. It's like, what fucking rain, bitch? Oh, we're still gonna go, keep the theme of the video just for funsies, to keep the content creators, keep the audience entertained and make the viewers happy. It looks like it may not be any rain after all, but still, you never know. And plus, we came back from the outing super late today. It was a good lunch, a good time, but the part where we had to pay for the meals, that was where the fiasco part came from. It never fails when we have a food outing fiasco, especially at a sit-down restaurant. But it doesn't mean the experience was bad. It just took a while to pay because there was so many people. I can do this sit-down restaurants with my family all I want, but with my job, comparison, apples and bowling balls, good luck with that. Maybe in the 3 and 4 side it doesn't look like it, but in the 1 and 2 side, hell yeah it does. So it could happen anytime, anywhere. And to be perfectly honest, I don't want to get the street sign. And to be perfectly honest, I really didn't give a shit if my phone wasn't at 100%. It was at Kerry Earnhardt 83, and as an Earnhardt fan, that perfectly works fine for me in a situation like this where we're beating inclement weather conditions, making a run for it before that inclement weather hits. So remember how a few clips ago I said it may not happen just because it doesn't look like it? Well, here's the thing though. I hope I don't jinx it, because if I do, keyword if, and maybe when, because it's looking really like a good chance it could happen anytime. Never say never. And we all know the whole can never say can never happen to you, because sure as hell can thing from last year's Chevrolet Monte Carlo 400 at Richmond as an Austin Dillon fan. But generally speaking, never say it cannot happen anytime. Even if it doesn't always happen on a consistent basis, or a lot of the time, because guess what? Every once in a while, even if the weather looks really good and in real time, like it is right now, it sure as hell can take a turn for the worst anytime. So never say it can never happen, because it sure as hell can. I know I haven't recorded any calm before the storm TikToks in quite a little bit, but don't worry, those will come back soon. I'm not burnt out with it. I'm taking a mini hiatus with it. That way, you know, I can avoid burnout. So getting ever burnt out at all. So shout out to my boy Neko Darius, who does this NASCAR Thunder 2004 modded career in the career mode with mods, or as he calls it, modded career mode, for teaching me how to take mini hiatus from our usual suspects and our regular elements and concepts, or like, you know, even the things we love. Oh, Uncle Andy and Megan. So therefore, because if there was no hiatus or a break of any kind from the things you love every now and then guess what? You wouldn't like it as much, and as a result, you'll get burnt out, and then you'll run out of all motivation and desire to ever do it for a long time, let alone ever again. For like ever, like you probably won't want to do it ever again if you're not careful and if it gets that serious for you. So every once in a while, a break is fine. And it's like some days in Sandy Ridge, even when it's nice out, inclement weather plays a small role or a big role or whatever, or any kind of role where it's a possibility. Sometimes we just don't make it out. And sometimes a break from Sandy Ridge, even on days where we could beat the inclement weather, it's good for us, good for our soul. Because again, if there was no break from being in the happiest place in Northeast Star, having fun with our friends, and guess what? We'd get totally burnt out with these, and most important of all, we wouldn't like it as much. It would be to take the fun and enjoyment out of it, and then we wouldn't want to do it anymore. I remember there were times where I came close to not wanting to do it anymore because I've done it for so many years. But then I realized there's a lot of people in Sandy Ridge that I'm friends with, who I do stuff with, or who I visit, even when we don't do stuff on a regular basis, that who would miss me. They would miss me terribly. Wanted to be wondering, where's Mark been? How come he doesn't come out no more? We haven't seen him in a long time. And I don't want to make my friends sad like that. If I'm going to make them sad, they would have to be at least, you know, having to move and go to the next house, because I know this is hard for you who are Sandy Ridge fans as far as my social media production go, but hold on, I'll talk about it in a separate clip. I know you guys have been attached to Sandy Ridge content, just like how I've been attached to Sandy Ridge more than I ever was attached to Sandhurst or even Lenore. But you know the old saying, nothing lasts forever, nothing is forever. Because I won't be living here in Sandy Ridge forever. And even if my mom wanted to forever, I sure as hell can't, because one day, if me and Emily get far enough in our relationship, let alone our romance, we gotta go get our own place eventually, whether we get married or not. Because there are some couples out there that I know of, and even ones I met that have been together for almost the entirety of their lives, including some aunts and uncles of my late grandma, my mom's mom. And guess what? A lot of those aunts and uncles of hers were together for so long to the point where they never got married. So it's okay to be romantically, for a man and a woman to be romantically together their entire life, even grow old together, without the requirement of marriage. There's no law that states that in order to spend the rest of your life together with your partner, you have to get married. There's no rule or law on anything. Kind of like how in sports, it's not a rule or a law that says you have to be a fan of a sports team based on the state you come from, which is why I don't like it. It pisses me off to some degree of, people who judge me and get mad at me for not being a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, for coming from the state of Ohio, because as you all know, I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan. I'm a lifer for about to be 29 years next season, since the Alamo days, when the middle of Duncan's rookie season in early 98. Like, you could support whoever you want as long as you're not bandwagon, Do you really expect that all Dallas Yeah? Sorry about that. Anyway, but as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. Do you expect all Dallas Cowboys fans to be from Dallas, or every Packers fan to be from Green Bay, Wisconsin? The answer is pretty simple. Hell no. ain't no rule on anything. There ain't no rule that says you have to be a fan of a sport, of a sports team in basketball, baseball, hockey, or bitch ass football, based on the state you were born in. There's no rule against that at all. Like realistically, if it was like that, oh shit, I gotta hold on to the phone tight. If it was like that, then guess what? It would take all the fun out of being a sports fan, or let alone fan of any specific team. Like, just because I come from the state of Ohio, and don't even say, well, you lived in Michigan for 10 years. Why aren't you a Pistons fan? Well, the Michigan years in Lenore don't fucking count. Thank you very much. Because I didn't even come from there. So, oh, wait, Jerry Springer lady's coming down the street. Or is that sexy mama? I'm not sure. Oh, it's sexy mama. Okay. All right. Oh, my God. Those two cars look hell of a lot alike. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh my God, I quickly forgot. Oh, right. The Michigan years on Lenore don't fucking count, at least when it comes to where I've lived for 31 years. If you're going to talk about me, because I didn't even come from there. We treated it like it because we loved it so much. Considering we were supporting the local team, the Pistons, even though technically we were not Pistons fans, I've always been San Antonio Spurs first. Even on Lenore, because whenever the Spurs played the Pistons, I'd go for the Spurs first. And it paid off in 2005 when we won our third championship and our first one without David Robinson. And it definitely paid off for my 13th birthday, like the day before I turned 13, the day before the Gatorade Twin 125 at Daytona, and my birthday celebration at Berger at the East Building of Miss Becky Berger's room. I think it might have been room 4. Yeah, it was room 4. Yeah. Because the day before the Spurs came to Michigan to play the Pistons in the Palace, and they gave me a birthday win the day before I turned 13. And April 6, 2003, it sure as hell paid off too. Even though I was robbed of seeing what would have been my only time seeing David Robinson play in person, Tim Duncan played great. Even though Ginobili, he was a rookie, so we got to give him some leeway here. He didn't play all that. He played horrible. He was scoreless and missed just about every shot. But he was a rookie, so therefore he was trying to get his feet wet in the NBA. But still, it was enough for the Spurs to win 89-83 without David Robinson, who by then turned into a role player with the Spurs, because the little Robinson once had Duncan took the rest of it until he couldn't have it no more. And then it was the fraud and the imposter and Bruce Bowen's number when they said, after Duncan retired in 2016 when we were living La Vida Labyrinth, they said, don't worry, Tim, we got this. That was a lie. So that load was left empty-handed. Nobody was carrying it because we didn't have a big star, which explains why the COVID year, right before COVID hit, like around the time Kobe died, San Antonio Spurs had no All-Stars in the All-Star game. So for many, many years after the Hall of Fame core retired and all the other good players went to other teams or, had their own retirements, we had no, star player until the Tankathon 1.0 in 2022-23 when we tanked to get Wembanyama, and we got really lucky. I only a star player, but we wasted his rookie year with the losing season. And even though our record in 2023-24 was a hell of a lot worse than 24-25, it felt like more of a positive, atmosphere, because it was the Wemby effect, how amazing he was as a rookie, as the unanimous rookie of the year. It didn't even feel like a bad season. And then the second year, because the Wemby and Chris Paul effect, our record improved massively, but it was not enough for the playoffs. So therefore, we've been wasting Wembanyama's first 2 years in the league with losing seasons. But to be fair, LaFour and 6 in the finals missed the playoffs in his first 2 seasons. And no, I'm not saying Wembanyama is going to be the same player as LaFour and 6 in the finals, or have the same careers and have a better career. No, he can just have as good of a career. So maybe in year 3, at least we make the play-in and then win that, legit earn a play-in spot this time and not waste a spot like in 2021 and 22. And this time, because of that, we win it and go to the playoffs that way. And then maybe in 26-27, we're playoff contenders again. that's basically my predictions, way too early predictions of Wembanyama's future with the Spurs in his career. But anything can happen. It's the NBA. Crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened in American sports. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. But yeah. So yeah, the Michigan years in the Lenore House don't count. We didn't really come from there, to be fair. We started in Ohio first. I mean, as annoying as the argument of me should be people thinking I should be a Cavs fan, I can, as much as it is, I can understand that for a degree. But the Pistons one, no. That's why I draw the line, because we were only there because my father's job at Johnson Controls, where he worked at the time, for like a majority of his life when the family went from New York to Puerto Rico to New York to Ohio, at least my dad's side of the family, and some of my mom's side. That was because my dad's job transferred us from Cleveland to Detroit. That's why. But always remember, if we don't go to Michigan and one of these alternate timelines happens, we stay in Cleveland, Ohio our whole lives, but lose on the West on the 22nd regardless, and go stay in Ohio our whole lives, like majority of our friends and all these different life phases since coming back to Ohio and the beginning of 2010 have gone through, or we still move but don't make it to Michigan and Mexico. Instead we get to Maryland and China instead of Michigan and Mexico. Then all the things we ended up getting, we still, even the ones we still hang on to. Hang on 1 second. Okay, I had to give Raptor Gaming 129's mom a hug and a kiss because I love them that much. I do that to them as well as their sister / aunt / little cousin / niece, Eliana, because that's my way of telling specific people I love you. Well, I with people as in like close friends or best friends or friends who are considered loved ones, regardless of age. But anyway, oh God, I forgot what I was saying again. Let me think. Okay, had we moved to, stayed in Cleveland our entire lives, or moved to Maryland and China rather than Michigan and Mexico, then a lot of good things we ended up getting because of Michigan and Mexico, we would not have today. We would not have it today. And that's the most important thing out of all of those things, is that we wouldn't have NASCAR. We wouldn't be a NASCAR fan if it wasn't for Michigan, if you know what I mean. I wonder who that is. Did Richard Dawson lady get a new car?
Yes.
I tried to get her to roll it down the window, but she had to tell me she was on the phone. I thought Jerry Springer man and Richard Dawson lady had visitors. I don't know if that's a new car or if that's a rental car. I'll have to ask them next time I see them. But anyway, I forgot what I was going to say again.
And you know what? I forgot what I was going to say.
Is it just me, or am I getting bad at my memory? A little bit of my memory going bad, or just getting short? Is it just short-term memory loss? I don't fucking know. But anyway, because if it wasn't for Michigan, we wouldn't be a NASCAR fan. And all the NASCAR stuff I own up to this day, or the new NASCAR stuff I didn't own as a kid that I own now, I wouldn't have possession of. If we would have stayed in Cleveland or like let alone the state of Ohio our whole lives, or with two different ways we never get to Michigan and Mexico. We either stay in Ohio our whole lives, or we go to Maryland and China rather than Michigan and Mexico. So therefore, and the one of the series on YouTube only exists because of Mexico. Garra, Acción y Sudor. Son los elementos de gas. A continuación y Nickelodeon Televisión hecha para ti. Because we would not have that memorized if not from Mexico, and just continuously watching it so many times over and over and over and over again nonstop. Because whatever happens in your life happens for a reason, even if it's bad. Because sometimes the worst things in life will always lead to the best things. And you better know, sometimes bad things that happen to you will later result into good things. Thing is, I think, you know, the ELVC building was gonna go under a huge overhaul, like a huge change, even if the COVID pandemic never ever became a thing. It's either they were going to do changes, but like not in the dramatic way it did because of COVID happening, which is how we got Triad and ViaQuest in our building. Or either that, or I still be at Murray Ridge at the Lyria workshop. It wouldn't be the same like before, if we still had that COVID time. Sure, it wouldn't be the same. Wouldn't be the same, but it would still be the same a little bit. But this 2020 to present and 2020 to now is a whole new ball game compared to 2015 to 2019. Those are two that's like Sandy Ridge Life Phase Part 1 for us was 2015 to 2019, while 2020 to now is Part 2. It's like we've been here for that long within 2 parts, in which 2015 was the last of the regular normal life everybody's always lived before COVID, and then this new normal that started in the vaccine year in 2021 when the vaccines came out, everything made everything safe and normal again, and which resulted in the first normal year since 2019 being in 2022, but the post-COVID version. So if none of this COVID stuff ever happened, keep in mind, in which, you know, would have resulted in us never making it to Triad, to be with our longtime friend Kayla Curtis, who was a Triad back then, but it was a different animal compared to what we ended up getting in the aftermath of COVID. Because then again, not only we would still be at Murray Ridge and never make it to Triad, we never would have made it to ViaQuest. ViaQuest Delaria never would have came to life. And most important of all, we never would have met Emily and would have never had the romance we have with her today. I mean, same could be said about the other girlfriends I dated in ViaQuest after the last Murray Ridge girlfriend was done because she was a nuisance, she that shall not be named. But, like, you know, Margaret, remember how wholesome that was and how good it felt to have someone who loved us first before I had a chance to do anything, which I eventually did. And I was going to tell the TBS worker, Tasia, the bathroom incident, but I'll tell her that tomorrow, because I was going to tell her that at Ruby Tuesday today, but there was so much going on that I ended up forgetting, so we'll talk about it tomorrow. But after that didn't work out because of, as you all know, what happened, because I made a bunch of posts about it, including a YouTube video, after we had no choice but to break up. Then we never would have met Razel, even though we didn't really get a chance to see each other much, and we never got a chance to hang out outside of work at all, because Ilaria and Brooklyn never collaborated enough when she was there. And even though she cheated on me twice, only because she was good looking and stuff, I hung on to her, even though we kept breaking on and off 3 times. And then I said, if we break up a 4th time, that's it. I'm not going to keep doing this back and forth shit. We never would have dated Julie, as fun as that was. But Emily has been better than those previous 2. The only one that comes close to how with the goatness of Emily and I, it's Lucas. The only real romance, like, 2020, like, vaccine year to post-COVID, vaccine year through post-COVID year. I mean, no. The only relationship I've had that's come in the vaccine year through post-COVID years, the only one that has come close to mine and Emily's greatness of romance is Margaret, even though we never got a legit chance to like show our potential as a couple. Because I was in a different work program, even though we were in the same building, in the same vicinity, we were right next door to each other, it was a different agency. So that's what made it difficult for us to hang out with one another. So unfortunately, that was one of the reasons why it didn't work out. The other reason, that was in the past. I'm just gonna leave that swept under the rug and not talk about it. So, but if you guys have been following me for a long time, you already know what happened. So there's no need to bring that up. We're happy with Emily, and that's all that matters.
1 hour later.
Okay, so therefore it's 6:19 right now, and I did check and see what percentage my phone battery's at. So therefore, oh yeah, we haven't said too much of this year. So we just had it. Well, we'll get to that in a minute or two. So we just had an adventure with Sarah and Dan and their friend, Leanne and their kids, Reese and Lucin. So it was nice to meet a new friend. I wanted a photo with Sarah and Leanne, but it was just unfortunate timing with the pizza and everything. And the fact that I thought they were going to put the pizza down and come back on, finish cleaning up. But no, when they put the pizza in there, they stayed in there. But I'm sure they'll be back out later. So therefore, we can always try again if we're lucky enough to come back here when they come back out, if we wait long enough and kill enough time. But anyway, now let's get to the elephant in the room of what we haven't said too much this year because we haven't had a chance nor a reason to. Let's see what else we can find and who else we can see in the Against All Odds series, episode 3. Good news, bad news. Good news, it's fucking 75 degrees, as the Crotch of Doom would say. And how many years will that have been since the original 2018 incident? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 7 years on Thursday. Well, this year will be Lizzie Green's button 22nd birthday. The bad news is, it did say it didn't want to do it just like a little while ago. Now it says it's coming soon. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, make up your goddamn mind, Mother Nature. Holy shit. It's like, I don't understand this fucking bitch at times. It's like, now we're really in a race against the time to beat the rain. Look who's home from college, at least for now. The son of Mr. Get Your Ass Out of My Chair. Freebird! Go! Here we go, yeah! Freebird! Don't let that go in the sewer. I didn't get too much of that for a precautionary reason I won't get into on the interweb. So hey, better safe than sorry, right? So hang on a second.
Oh, hold on.
It's 6:58 and my phone's at a 51% for Jeff Purvis. That rain is looking more and more likely by the second. Look at the sky. Look at that shit. Things were looking up to the point where it was looking like, hey, this shit isn't gonna fucking happen. But now it's starting to go back to the wrong way. Because now it's getting darker and darker in the sky. So we made the right move to beat the rain. If we wanted to try to make a run for it, and we've beaten it by a landslide. So it's pretty much safe to say that we won. That we pretty much won. Because no matter how early or late the rain comes, we got this one over this sexy mama ninja fighter. The rain, it could start, those skies could open up now even. And guess what? The damn rain would still have lost this battle because we've gotten pretty fortunate that we've avoided it for this long up to this point. So therefore, Against All Odds episode 3 was a success. And we're not even done yet because, oh no, did I spit a little bit or was that a raindrop? Did I just cue the damn thing? Because guess what? If I cued it, then guess what? We're gonna turn around and go back. I was gonna go shoot around with the sexy mama and ninja fighter, Sir Hopsalot, Sir Dunksalot, and Sergeant Carter's parents, but they're about to go inside because you almost never see them play basketball compared to their two kids, and Carter barely comes out now. So, therefore, I guess a change of plans, I guess. Okay, there's nobody down here anyway that's doing anything, so we're going to turn around regardless. So, the comedian got a delivery. So, we got a little bit of action picking up in Sandy Ridge. And rain is on the way. No, I was going to go back to see Sarah and Dan with, their friend Leanne and her two sons, Reese and Lucien. But I think they're still eating pizza. But I don't know if they're going to be able to make it back out, especially if it starts raining soon, because we know it's coming. It's like it's playing a game of cat and mouse. We know it's coming, but then it gives us false hope that it won't come, that it clears up a ton. But then, as we think that, then guess what? Now I'm starting to it's like flirting with disaster like Molly Hatcher to the point where it may happen. So Mother Nature, what the fuck is it? Pick a lane, dickhead. Damn, look at these clouds. They're getting bigger and bigger, thicker and thicker, and it's looking more and more likely. We sure as hell are beating the rain by a country mile. Because the thicker the clouds get, the more likely it's gonna happen. Because we know it's coming. We just don't know when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Even with all this false hope, I had this small personal secret feeling that even if we got false hope, like it wasn't gonna happen, that light at the end of the tunnel wasn't gonna last long. So this is really a game of chicken, let alone cat and mouse. It's like, when does it come? When does it come to the point where it'll be our cue to go inside and stay in there for the night? Because even if it does stop anytime, it's gonna be a while, and whenever that is, it will get to the time where it would have already been time to come inside anyway. Because yesterday, after the Tim Duncan Can I Recreate episode we did, we got caught up in the moment again with our Ridgeville buddies, like we always do when they're around, whether it's here in Sandy Ridge, when it's getting later and later and darker, or like a sporting event, or like support our friends, or even at the Corn Fest when like we're on like a time schedule with my mom or my dad, to the point where, like, just take last year's Corn Fest for example. Like, it was time for me to go. And when it was time for me to go, I was running out, and my mom kind of did specify what side she was on. We said, I'm on the left-hand side of the right side of the park. Oh, here comes Josh. So he'll be doing a couple YouTube videos on his channel soon for his business. There he is. So I'm mutating topics here. When we do start doing YouTube videos for his channel to promote his business, like promos and stuff like that, Steph Castle, Rookie of the Year! Let's fucking go! Back-to-back Rookie of the Year for the San Antonio Spurs! And the fourth one in team history. Hell yeah.
You got it.
I got the push notification as I was recording that last clip, so fuck yeah. Anyway, so when it starts getting warmer at a consistent basis, when this cold weather shit decides it's fucking done for the year, until it's just time to come back next season for Adventures in Autumn Season 5 and Winter Wonderland Season 5, when we start the 2025-26 season, then we'll start getting really creative with the ideas of his potential content, and whatever he posts, I'll take the video as a whole, and then I'll use it I'll make a YouTube short out of it, because it's like a collaboration. So if there's any major collaboration and crossovers involving me and other people's channels that are my friends that also do videos or are about to do videos, then I'll take it and put it as a YouTube short to promote them and hopefully boost their channel. Because I'm a helping hand. I always like to lend a helping hand because I'm a nice guy like that. So therefore, be on the lookout for some Josh Bardo videos for his business that we just promoted just now. But anyway, back to the story. When it was time for me to go to the Corn Fest, time to leave the Corn Fest and come home, she said on the left side or the right side, but she didn't specify exactly what she meant by that. So I got lost trying to find the exact exit she was at. There was 2 exits. We could have gone either way, but I was trying to go to the one my mom was looking for, and that was already hectic enough. What was even more hectic was all the friends I was running into on the way out that were trying to stop me and say hi. All I did was give him a high five or a handshake or a quick hug, and then I decided, you know what, sorry, out of time. That was just my way of waving him off, telling him I can't stay and chat or throw you in my YouTube video, do a TikTok with you, or gonna flick with you. I gotta go. Because when we're on a time crunch, hold on a second, Daniel's here. It was nice to catch up with Daniel for a tiny bit. But anyway, so whenever we're on a time crunch at these events, I'm talking about getting caught up in the moment. I mean, nowadays I try not to do that because my mom will bitch. Oh, but you think that's bad? Well, my dad would be even worse. He'd be acting like it's the end of the world more than my mom does. My mom makes like the end of the world sometimes too, but when it's compared to my mom and my dad, my mom is not as excessive when my dad does, because when my dad does it, it's very excessive, because he loses his mind like it's the end, it's the end of the world as we all know it. My mom acts like, well, they both act like it's the end of the world, but my dad takes it beyond to a new level compared to my mom. So I'm lucky that it's never, half the time it's never my mom and my dad in these situations. So, but to avoid that happening at the Corn Fest last year on that Friday night, it's okay. I'm recording myself. It's okay. Okay, so to avoid that happening, I was trying to hurry up and get out. But here's the problem. My mom didn't specify exactly what side she was on. So what exact exit. That's why I got lost. And then we had all my friends, trying to say hi to me and stop me and talk to me. But I had to wave them off. I did say hi, give him a high five, give him a handshake, maybe a quick side hug. But I kept going because I didn't want my mom bitching at me. And then she started freaking out because she didn't realize she didn't specify exactly where she was, and I got lost. I mean, we got to resolve, but if I would have stopped to talk to someone of my friends, oh my God, that would have been a hell of a lot worse. Sometimes when it's Ridgeville people and I don't get to see them, and my mom is like, or dad is like on a time crunch wanting to get out, they want me back to them at a specific time. And this is where the problem comes. Whether it's them initiating it and I'm trying to get out, they stop and talk to me. Sometimes it's just contagious, and I don't get to see these Ridgeville folks very often. They see me on the internet and the phone and social media more than in person. So whenever I'm in person, it's like they want to do all they can to catch up with me and talk to me and mingle with me, because they don't get to do that very often. I don't get to do it very often in return either. So I'm talking with them, and I'm wasting my mom or dad's time, and they're calling me or asking me why it's taking me so long. And I said I ran into a couple friends, and then my mom is a little bit more mellow when it comes to that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got caught up in the moment. See, that's the part that gets us in trouble. Whether it's them stopping us organically and we kind of go along with it instead of actually being smart, saying and waving them off, saying we gotta go, no, out of time, or if I'm the one stopping myself to talk to them, which is the worst. So them stopping us is lesser to it, because my mom or even something like my dad knows I didn't cause it. But if I'm the one causing it, then yeah, that's what just makes it worse. Like in 2017 at that middle school game that I talked about numerous times, the middle school girls basketball game, in the beginning of the 2017-18 season. So sometimes getting caught up in a moment with our original friends can get us into trouble if we're on a time crunch to get out. So football game, basketball game, Corn Fest, don't matter. Once my mom or dad says we gotta go, we gotta go. And if someone tries to stop or talk to us, in which we used to stop ourselves and do it more frequently, but as we've gotten older, we've learned to wave our friends off, even if it's one of our best friends, and tell them sorry, out of time, I gotta run, and just wave them off and just say we'll see you, we'll chat it up and mingle next time. So therefore, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and sometimes when you got to run. So yeah, that's something we got to keep in mind this year. If my dad or whoever, or if my mom, if she's even brave enough, even with all the pain she's in, takes us to that one baseball game for Casey, Isabella, and Selena, or my dad does. Oh, with the Ridgeville parent, it's different. They don't give a shit. They'll let you, because they're part of they work for the school district. My mom and dad don't, because I never went to school in Ridgeville. I went to Berea, because that's why by the time I moved here, I was already graduated, so I didn't get to go here. So therefore, yeah. So when it's an easier time for me when I'm with the Ridgeville parent, when they're taking me to watch their kid or their friends play. You could stay as late as you want and they won't bitch at you. But apparently my parents do, which I would get mad at them for that, because I want to see my friends that they wouldn't know of unless I introduced them to her. Introduce them to them, introduce my friends to them, or introduce my parents to those friends. But at the same time, I understand. Only because, unlike all my friends' parents, they don't work for the school district. They don't. So if they want to go, then they'll go. The only time it's acceptable, hold on, let me separate this, getting too long. The only time it would be acceptable is if I were to tell them in advance, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to talk to this person, I'm going to talk to that person. Well, I don't know if my dad will do that. He'll just want to get out. But if it's my mom, she'll say, okay, fine, I'll give you like 10, 15, 20 extra minutes, and then you can go. We gotta go. So that's a fair compromise. If I tell her, if I get close to the time where it's time to leave, and I tell her that I ran into someone that I don't get to see all the time, she'll let me stay longer if I'm responsible. Yesterday was the first time I didn't do that because I was so caught up in the moment. If I would have just took some time to pause in that moment I was caught up in, to like call her and tell her my buddies are here at Ninja Fighters, the house next to Crutch of Doom, things would have been completely different. I would have been able to go home like a later time than normal with special permission, like at 9:15, 9:30. Hey, just like the good old days. Just like the good old days in Sandy Ridge when I didn't have to wait. I didn't have to go in until 9:15, 9:30. That was only in the summertime though. This is still spring, so maybe in this summer the 9:15 and 9:30 time limit can be revisited since my mom works in a school and she won't be working this summer because summer break. So there's a good chance the 9:15, 9:30 time limit will be revisited for that reason. So that's a good sign. As long as we're mindful and responsible about our surroundings and the timing of our surrounding, and letting my mom know where we're at. If it's like getting close to the time, it gets close to the time to go home, or at the time it times to go home, if we manage to call her first before she ends up ringing our phone seconds later, if we beat her to the punch, and I did those two capacities, then yeah, it's a good guarantee we get this. We can get some many different extended time limits to the point where we don't have to go home so soon, and we can stay as longer, any amount of longer we want, depending on what my mom picks. So that's something to look out for this summer, and when we go of this upcoming, as we get close to season 5 Front of the Sun, and to keep in mind for the remainder of season 4, a spring is in the air, which is what we're in the middle of right now. Oh shit. Look at that. I think it was just spit when I came through here last time. So right now we dodged the bullet, but I have a guarantee you eventually we're not going to be so lucky. And sadly there's no sign of Sean and Jessica.
Just then.
Yeah, it's coming down. I felt 3 drops already. We're going back. And that means Against All Odds episode 3 is officially in the... Oh yeah, it's coming. I felt it on my forehead. We gotta go. So we gotta hurry up and close this shit out. So therefore, I hope you enjoyed, this episode where we beat the brain in Sandy Ridge. I guess that's what we sure as hell did. Thank God I was only a little bit, only a few yards from the house where I don't have to run. But at least we have more time to eat dinner tonight and cook our steaks that we were supposed to eat last night and edit and upload this video. So we will see you all for the next video, which will be the Aaron's 499 race review, because it's going to be back to cold as shit tomorrow and whatever we got cooking for you. But for the Samsung Radio Shack 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Good night. And we haven't got to say this much this year. Time to park the motherfucking bus and get inside the goddamn trailer. So I will see you all for the next video, which will be tomorrow. Aaron's 499 race review at Talladega. I don't know what we got Thursday and Friday. I know Thursday we're stacking it up like Kenny Wallace with our Coca-Cola at bowling. I don't know if we're going to upload a video that day. And it's going to rain on and off Thursday. And then Friday, I don't think it's looking too good. But since it's going to be chilly tomorrow, either before or after the Aaron Talladega race recap video, we will work on the pictures with my mom off camera, or if we're lucky, maybe on camera with her channel. And then Saturday, just going to be our day to relax and rest. And then Sunday, yeah, I don't like this track, and I wish I got to skip it for nice weather. But since it's an OG race, despite the fact that we fucking hate this track, and it's going to be more likely chilly on Sunday, even though it's a 50-50 chance we could see Hattie the day before the race, since her birthday party is Sunday. Then I guess we'll see her if we're up to it, if the time is right, if they're even going to be home at all for a long enough period of time Saturday, and whether we do or not, then yeah, Sunday we fucking hate this track, but if it's going to be chilly out, then we got no choice. We will watch the Samsung Radio Shack 500 at Texas and do a race review. And maybe sometime under the chilly days this week, we will test the sound on our computer webcam to make sure the sound came back. And if it did come back, then we'll stream that Samsung Radio Shack 500 that we should have done last year during the Spurs regular season finale. Which will, after that, do what we should have done last year, do the Brickyard 400 stream. But if you don't see that stream Sunday, let alone anytime after that, leading out to the Brickyard 400 Indianapolis later this summer, then you'll know why. But I need to get the fuck inside the trailer, wind down, catch my breath, take a shower like Terry Labonte, eat my, show that, eat my steak dinner, and drink my ice cold Coke, get my YouTube pics on. See you all for the Aaron's 499 race review video tomorrow. See you later. And of course, whenever the next Against All Odds episode comes out, which will be episode 4, the Mike Skinner / Bobby Hamilton Sr. installment. See you later, everyone.